minutes.
Could you give us some kind of an idea of how many more witnesses we have, just to give us a sense of how long we're going to be here and so forth?
I have 13 remaining pages.
13 more pages?
Pages. Name and...
My name is Jessica LaRue, and I represent a company called Twirling Hippie Confections, and I'm also representing the edibles industry here today. And I have some points I'd like to make about the medical infused products licensing. My number one objection to this bill, I do think it's important to regulate this industry, but I also think it's important to respect what it is that the patients are looking for. Edibles are a product that bridges... Can I get your guys' attention? I don't mean to be rude, but we've been paying attention for everyone else, and I'd like your attention too.
Kathleen Chipeye, representing Freedom in the United States. Excuse me for how I sound right now, but I'm physically nauseous over how many amendments and changes and alterations are being attempted to be made in our constitutional rights here. When I called your office, Senator Romer, last week and asked what had provoked the urgency, I was told that sick people might sell their medical marijuana that they bought from a dispensary to elementary school kids in the future. And this was to protect the children. We have 11,000 children disappearing a year in our state alone. That is 30 children disappear a day. If you would like to protect the children, I'd get my nose out of the medical marijuana industry, the sick patients, and the business owners who are paying taxes, and I would send the armed auditor to the child molesters' houses every 5 days to pick through their lives, because they've actually proven themselves criminals. And we obviously have a clear problem with 11,000 children disappearing a year from our state.
Ms. Chippy, your time is up. And
The children are not disappearing in medical marijuana dispensaries. I can assure you that.
And we don't appreciate your tone.
Education, not regulation. If we were all educated, we wouldn't even be wasting another day on this.
I'm sorry, Ms. Chippy, that really was unnecessary, and it wasn't relevant to the bill.
Thank you, committee members. My name is Laura Creho, and I represent the Cannabis Therapy Institute. I'm also going to take Jeremy DePinto's time.
We are not conceding any additional time.
He was already called before. I mean, I've been here.
I'm
also taking
Laura,
Timothy Tipton's time, who also had to leave to go home and take his
Laura,
medicine.
I'm extremely sorry, but at this point, we still
I urge you to vote no on House Bill 1284. Our organization represents hundreds of patients in the state of Colorado. We were the first organization to meet with Senator Romer when he said that he wanted to regulate medical marijuana in the state of Colorado. In October, our organization drafted regulations for the city level that had a wide base of support from patients and caregivers. We turned that draft ordinance into a draft bill, which we presented with Senator Romer back in November, and proceeded never to get any information from him again about these bills. So when he says that he's worked with the medical marijuana community on getting compromises and getting our input on this, he's lying. He has never come to our organization to talk to us.
We're not going to...
He's not telling the truth.
She may speak if she's not rude and she's not disrespectful. Other than that, we are going to close testimony. If people can't, just relax and be polite to each other.
It's a little hard to relax when you listen to all of this misinformation. I've been working on cannabis politics in Colorado since 1992. That's 18 years. I've seen it all. I've seen the police come here and lie. I've seen senators come in here and lie, and it's time for the truth to be told.
My name is Nick Lavolo. I am trying to be a patient. I must be like number 55,000 on the list. I've been waiting about 5 months. And if we can't change our minds on those three things, then you really need to be removed from office. So it might be wise to do a ballot vote tonight so we don't know who's voting which way.
Thank you, Mr. Lavolo.
Is that all I got?
That's all you have. Senator Foster.
Thank you. Mr. Lavolo, I don't know if it's a question. I thank you for staying the whole day. I appreciate it.
Sure. It's important.
But I do want to share an observation. Okay? Senator Romer, with all due respect, had the courage to take on this particular bill. This is a gigantic bill. This is a gigantic new a frontier, thank you, paradigm for this state. We're not one of many states out here, and it was in 2000 that the bill was passed. I remember it well. I was on the Denver City Council across the street. It was huge, and what are we going to do with it? So whether I like it or not doesn't matter right this minute. But Senator Romer and Senator Spence went out on a limb, quite frankly, and became very bold and took on this incredibly contentious idea, this bill. They put a lot of work into it. And where do we begin? You do begin with public safety. I don't think my questions were particularly gracious to public safety this afternoon, but I respect where they're coming from. They're not coming from the place that I'm coming from, but you have to include all the various different communities into a bill this size. How it ends up, we'll see. We're trying to play catch up and try to figure out, listening to all of you this afternoon and this evening, some of you had incredibly good ideas. Some were very angry. I respect that because we're in a new frontier. But when people came up to criticize Senator Romer for being out on the for taking on this bill, I didn't sign up to take it on. I don't remember how many people in either caucus signed up to take it on, quite frankly. Cut him some slack. Cut him some slack. He is dedicated and he is committed and he wants to make a change.
Might I respond? Or?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Still my turn. So really, a lot of the evidence today has been very thoughtful and very interesting. And I'm looking at things a little differently because I came here with an open mind, as did everyone, by the way, even though they say, we all know how you're going to vote and everything. That isn't fair. But just let us not forget that there's not too many of us that wanted to do what the two of them did at the other end of this table. Okay? So thank you.
Might I respond to that?
You may.
Mr. Lovolo,
Yeah.
respond.
Okay. Chris Romer is an elected official. You all are elected officials. When an elected official continues down a path that, well, at least people in this room disagree with, and makes comments in the paper that a lot of people in this room can disagree with, and has championed a cause that a lot of people in this room can disagree with, he's been cut all the slack that, at this point in time, I, on a personal level, am willing
Thank
to
you.
cut him.
He is a leader. He has been elected to be a leader, not a follower. He's been elected to be a leader. And if you believe everything that you read in the paper verbatim, then we'll need to have another education piece. But that said, we're done with this dialogue right now. But
Sure.
we're finished with this dialogue.
I believe everything I read in that bill.
Okay.
Senator Linda, did you have a question?
Excuse me.
sorry.
I am chairing the meeting,
All right,
not
I
you.
apologize.
Senator Newell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We can debate philosophy all night. We've been here a very long time, and I would appreciate civility in this room. This is a Senate hearing. This is not a backroom conversation. It's not a front room conversation. It's a Senate hearing. And Madam Chair, with all due respect, I would ask that if people are not willing to do that, and especially at this late hour, that their testimony be withheld, that the testimony be stopped. This is not fair for all of us to listen to disrespectful, uncivil conversation. We're all trying to do the right thing here, and I would appreciate that ability to do that. And the incivility prevents me from keeping an open mind.
Which I have been trying to strike all evening, hasn't been noticed. And what have we been asked for so often? A commission, a stakeholder process, productive input, not threats, not insults, but productive. That's a stakeholder process. And many people we heard from, I'm very impressed with, to the extent that Senator Romer and Senator Spence have actually had individual conversations. I think this has been a big concept. So enough said.